Love that track. Sinead Harnett with I'd Rather Be With You. Now, Mental Health and Me is back for the 3rd year running. Now, if you have any experience or interest in mental health, whether it's based on a true story or entirely fictionalized, and you would like the opportunity to become a published writer, this is your chance to have your voice heard. I caught up with Claire Stevens from Mental Health and Me, and this is what she had to say.
Okay, so the Mental Health and Me is a writing competition. It's aimed at creative writers. And we've run it for 3 years now. This is the 3rd time. We've run it with Writing on the Wall Festival, who are, very well known across the city for doing a lot of writing projects and grassroots, encouraging people to get writing, really. The competition is aimed at people, Mental Health and Me, I guess the clue's in the title. So it's about anyone who's got something to say about their own mental health or the way mental health has affected them because of something to do with someone in their family or a friend or a colleague or anyone that they work with. It can be that they even work as a professional in the mental health service. So it's as wide as you like, really, about how mental health impacts on their lives. So
each year you've had a different theme, and this year it's
faces, places and spaces. So what we're asking for is some writing about the kind of people that you rely on and that help get you through if you're not feeling so great. So that could be the faces that are there in your life. Or it could also be in a negative way, that the faces that you're scared of or that have a negative impact on you. The places that have had an impact on you, where it could be that have made you feel uncomfortable or unhappy. It could be the places that have helped you feel better. The spaces could be internal spaces as well, the spaces that you go to in your head. And again, could be, either for good or ill, really.
Yeah. Because, we do take our mental health for granted. We really do, and I know I do. I work so much, and sometimes I do forget to have a rest.
Mm-hmm.
And I try and make a conscious decision now, especially because of our little boy, to get out more often with him and not just stay in the office and do bits. And I genuinely believe that if I didn't have him, I would not take care of my mental health. Well, I mean, it still needs some improving, but not as well as what I do. So it's.
So he's a face that
he's my face. Yeah. That's so
great.
Yeah. But we were also talking about that the competition is part of a wider initiative as well, isn't it?
That's right. It's part of Liverpool Mental Health Festival, which runs from the 1st to the 16th of October this year. There's a whole range of activities going on across it's over 2 weeks.
Wow.
There's a big event in Williamson Square on Saturday the 8th of October, which will be on all day with bands playing, drummers drumming, pipers piping, possibly. I'm not sure about that. And we'll have a whole load of stalls there. And then we'll have information. We've got information leaflets here on, for instance, mental health and wellbeing, help and support for Black, Asian, minority, ethnic and refugee communities in Liverpool. So there's lots of information about where you can go to get help and support, or just ask questions that you've got.
And you know what? It's so important, because one of the things that I've been looking at is through my older brother, he's a mental health practitioner. So he works for Medicare.
Yeah.
And one of the things that they've been looking at is obviously mental illness and that link to social migration. So it's amazing that you've included like refugee communities in there, because it is that you come to a city, you don't know what to expect, trying to find someone who sounds like you, looks like you, trying to get access to healthcare, schools, all these things. It's just, oh God, I can't even imagine how anyone could feel.
It's difficult enough to just move to a new area, let alone a new city or a new country, let alone if you've come from something really, really difficult.
So, Claire, in terms of percentage, what are the percentages of BME adults or young people being diagnosed with mental illness?
That's a really interesting question, and sometimes it's difficult to get statistics on that, partly because not everyone's coming forward who needs the help because of stigma. And partly because people don't keep very good records when it comes to diversity generally, which we find is a big problem across the city and more broadly than that. But we do know that people from BME communities are more likely to be diagnosed with mental health problems than their white sort of peer group are. more likely to be admitted to hospital for mental health problems, more likely to have poor outcomes when they are getting treatment, and we think that's because there's not enough cultural competence in the sort of mainstream services, and that's why there's such a need often for specific services that, you know, whether it be the African elders or Chinese wellbeing or whoever it is, looking after the needs of their community from a sort of culturally competent perspective. But the trouble is that when people disengage from some support mechanisms, it can actually exacerbate their mental health problem. It makes it worse and therefore harder to get help, and the cycle just gets worse. So it's really important, I think, that people in all communities start talking about mental health and addressing stigma and speaking out so that we can all support each other better.
With the Mental Health and Me writing competition, it's open now, isn't it?
It's open now. The closing date is Thursday the 1st of September.
Oh, fantastic.
So there's still almost a month left for you to get entries in. If you go to our website, there's information on how to enter an entry form. There's information on the different categories you can enter under. So you can write a poem, you can write a letter, you can write a diary or a blog entry, you can write a tweet even, a short story, or you can do spoken word performance piece. So you don't even necessarily need to write something down. You can just record yourself doing spoken word, send it in to us. There's some guidelines about length of time that you can do that, or a number of words that we want and things like that, but it's all there. And
it's therapy. It is therapy.
Definitely.
I always say when you get something on paper, that's just the first step to you even acknowledging if there's an issue or how you've dealt with your mental health or mental illness, and being able then to, if you can perform it as well, that's an even bigger stepping stone. So it's a fantastic initiative, and I do love what the WOW Festival does, and Mental Health and Me and all of that. You know, because we just live in a society now where we need to have positive communication and understanding of what people are going through.
Creativity is a really important part, and that's why we involve music and dance and stuff like that. Comedy as well is part of the festival. We'll have a film night. We've got an art exhibition going on across 3 venues. So that's on at Unit 51, Constellations and the Unity Theatre. And we're working with Africa Oye as well. We had a stall at the last Oye Festival just recently. And we've got Africa Oye, have got Murky Waters playing in Williamson Square on the 8th of October as part of the festival. So come down at 4 o'clock on 8th of October to hear him play. On Thursday the 6th of October, 11 till 2 p.m, we've got a Healthy Minds event happening at the Kumbaramani Centre, which is going to be a BME wellbeing workshop. And on Murky Waters playing and all that's going on the 8th of October in Williamson Square. On the 27th of October, just after the festival officially ends, but it's still connected with it, there's a Learn and Get Pampered Day, again at the Kumbaramani Centre. Women from diverse communities will be coming together to share stories and get pampered.
I like that.
So those are things that people might be interested in getting involved in. But just get involved in everything. The festival brochure will be out soon. You can find it at venues across the city or also on liverpoolmentalhealth.org.uk, and you can find further information about the competition there as well, or through Writing on the Wall.